Okay, we need to see what's going on over here because this is pretty wild. This is the worst that's been seen in many years. Serb militants in northern Kosovo attack NATO forces and wound 11 of them. The cycle of escalation must be broken quickly. So apparently Serbs are fighting with NATO. Do they want to get bombed again? Because this is how you get bombed again. Yeah, somebody get Clinton on the phone, okay? Clinton, we need you back for one last job. Dun 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 dun. Dun. Yeah. Wait, this is actually potentially a pretty big deal. I heard it was Serbian rioters. It says Serb militants here. Those two words mean different things. Let me see if I can find more. Kosovo. So this is from a conservative pro-Russia perspective. Serbs fighting for their existence in Kosovo against Albanians and NATO today in Kosovska Mitrovica. Kosovo was stolen from Serbia after NATO bombing them for 78 days. The Serbs attacked the Kosovars in the countryside and expelled 1/3 of the population from the country. Their plans were explicitly genocidal. NATO intervention saved hundreds of thousands of people. Yeah, it looks like they're like fucking properly fighting here. They locked the replies. Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny to me. Like, so many people were like, look at these acts of unprecedented NATO aggression, and they talk about the bombing in Serbia, and it caused me to actually like look up what happened, and I realized NATO was so fucking in the right that it's insane. Like, we've done this whole thing before, and I did the debate before with that one guy, but like we've talked about it, it's like it literally like, oh well, what were the Serbs doing when NATO showed up? It's like, oh yeah, well there were 2 million Kosovars in the countryside, and they were literally like artillery shelling their towns and villages bit by bit, moving forward, killing and displacing all of them in a total war of eradication. Like, oh, okay. And they're like, but the Kosovars deserved it. They started it. And like, you look at what started it, and it was student protests at the oppression Kosovars faced under Serbian rule. Okay. Oh yeah, bro. All right. Cool. All right. Here we go. Here we go. NATO soldiers injured in Kosovo clashes with Serb protesters. Serb reject new ethnically Albanian mayors after vote boycott. What? You reject? Oh, you boycotted the vote, and now you reject the leader that should. Oh my god, bro. They're Bernier busters. They're Bernier busters. They didn't show up to the fucking polling booth, and now they're mad. And who showed up? U.S. rebukes Kosovo for imposing mayors in mainly Serb area. Wait, what? Wait, did we criticize Kosovo? What did we say? I heard there was 5% vote attendance. That seems like a skill issue. Yeah, that narrative that Serbs were victims is complete bullshit. Yeah, NATO could have bombed their capital 10 times as hard, and they still would have been the fucking perpetrators. In Zvekan, one of the towns, Kosovo police staffed by ethnic Albanians after Serbs quit the force last year. What? Dude! These fucking idiot Serbs. Okay, guys, I know how we'll secure Serbian power in Kosovo. Let's boycott the election and resign from the police. Yay! Where does the U.S. condemn Kosovo here? Serbs refused to take part in local elections in April, and ethnic Albanian candidates won the mayoralities in 4 Serb-majority municipalities. They boycotted the elections in their local ethnic enclaves to the point where Albanians are now mayors in local areas over Serbs? Oh my god. The Serbian skull needs to be studied. Holy shit. Serb brain. They're like sub-Vatnik. Jesus Christ. Serbs demanded the Kosovo government remove ethnic Albanian mayors from town halls and allow local administrators financed by Belgrade resume their work. When we all boycotted the local elections, we didn't think that, like, the other people would win. We were really mad. Maybe we did bomb them too hard. Jesus Christ. On Friday, 3 of the 4 ethnic Albanian mayors were escorted into their offices by police, who were pelted with rocks and responded with tear gas and water cannon to disperse their protesters. Based! The U.S. and its allies, which have strongly backed Kosovo's independence, rebuked Pristina on Friday, saying imposing mayors in Serb-majority areas without popular support undercut efforts to normalize relations. Well, wait, that's fucking bullshit. How are they imposing these mayors? This is the consequence of the elections that were done. They boycotted. How is it imposing them? What does that mean? Serbian Foreign Minister Ivica Dačić told RTS it was, quote, not possible to have mayors who have not been elected by Serbs in Serb-majority municipalities. Whose fault is this? What? We never could have guessed this would happen. 5% turnout isn't the will of the people. The will of the people was to boycott. They boycotted. They shouldn't have boycotted then. Well, that was their will. You can't do a redo because they don't like the fact that the outcome of them boycotting was an election which didn't take into account their desires. There was their choice. Which of the Balkans are the barbarians again? The Serbs. They're the worst of them. What was the goal of the boycott? They're just dumb. They're protesting the elections because they think that the Serbian majority ethnic part of Kosovo should have its own, like, teeny tiny ultra micro ethno state, because this is the Balkans, and in the Balkans the only way to solve / create political problems is by creating teeny tiny ethno states. Were their candidates allowed to run? Yes. There was no suppression. They just didn't. It's Serbs. Kosovo signed that. They need to implement it. Well, it's just going to end up being Serbia again. Is this going to lead to a revolution? No.
Different.
What is this? Yes! President Biden. Fuel the bombers. It's time.
I just want to know what you suggest, because back then, when I was in your position, I was suggesting we bomb Belgrade. I was suggesting that we send American pilots in and blow up all the bridges on the Drina. I was suggesting we take out his oil supplies. I was suggesting very specific action. And isn't it interesting that we didn't...
Who are the Nazis in this situation? The Serbs. Seriously, we've seriously talked about it before. They really did try to just, like, slaughter the Kosovars, the ethnically Albanian people in the western region of Serbia. They literally just like after years and years of oppression of the ethnic Albanians in the area, they were like, nah, fuck it, we're just going to kill and expel all of you, and just rolled with their armies into the west and just shelled, like, a ton of people, villages, moving them out like a wall of death. We stopped the genocide. Southern, sorry, not Western, Southern. Didn't you debate somebody about this? Yes. Yeah, catnip master race. That's why I think it's funny, because it's like this and Libya are the two things people say when they talk about how NATO bad. This was good. I'm still not fully familiar with the Libya thing. The Libya thing is really complicated. I think that, like, the most charitable thing I could say about NATO behavior over Libya was that, like, they fucked up massively. But, like, that's all I know. With at least with Serbia, they were in the right for sure. Even Slavoj Žižek. Slavoj Žižek defends it. What happened in Libya? It's complicated. Žižek's thoughts on NATO? ? The only thing I've found is that he supported the bombing of Yugoslavia, Serbia. You know. How do you feel about the liberation of Kuwait by the coalition? Okay, listen. We can, as Americans, we can never pat ourselves on the back for doing anything to oppose Saddam Hussein, because we made him. We are evil for what we did with Saddam Hussein. We gave him a shit ton of free stuff, sold him weapons so that he would invade Iran. We gave him chemical weapons that he was using to illegally gas Iranian positions. We gave him chemical weapons that he used to commit a genocide against the Kurdish people. And then, after the invasion of Kuwait, we intervened because he was with our oil supply. And then we let him stay in power because he had been like a stooge of us before, and he was relatively secular compared to more like Islamic extremist leaders in the Middle East. Like we knowingly we were literally giving him precursors to chemical weapons while he was shelling like Kurdish towns in Iraq. We were the great evil there, like overwhelmingly. We were like the giant evil there. They were all pretty psychopathic, malt vinegar. Saddam Hussein was literally an assassin. That was his first job. He was like 20 years old, and he was an assassin for the Ba'athist Party, the Arab Socialist Party, which was not socialist. They just liked getting free stuff from the Soviet Union. But he was an assassin. That was his job. He was an assassin. That's what he came up from. We were in the wrong, I agree, but defending Kuwait itself was a good thing. Yeah, just like the problem is that with everything involving Saddam Hussein, we are so evil that I feel like giving us credit for what we did with Kuwait would have been like, it's like you're like raping a woman and you realize that her head's banging on the wall, so you put a pillow there. Like, what the fuck? Like, and then someone's like, okay, but you agree the pillow was like a good thing to do because like it reduced the, and it's like, I don't want to talk about this. Like, I don't want to talk about this at all. I'm not separating this single thing. I like, if you want to be like super utilitarian, you can be like, well, I think this thing caused 1% more good than this other, but like, I'm not, it's so man, we're so evil. That's a hell of an analogy. Yeah, it's actually a hell of an analogy in favor of America, because what we did with Iraq was way the worse than what I just analogized. Again, we knew they were shelling Iran and Kurds with chemical weapons and kept giving them precursors for it. Like, if I remember correctly, the French literally gave Saddam Hussein the some of the like industrial constructive materials necessary to start beginning like the building of nuclear weapons. And this was back in the 80s. They were like the French like wanted to have more of a hand in the development of Middle Eastern affairs because they were mad sad that they got kicked out of so many places in Africa. So they were like, yeah, but, oh, Saddam Hussein is like a based and red-pilled anti-Islamicist secular Middle Eastern leader who will take down the Ayatollah. Hell yeah, brother. Let's give him everything. We gave him everything. We gave him tanks. You know what? At least a lot of the equipment that we gave him, we vaporized in the first Gulf War, okay? The Iraqi nuclear reactor that Israel bombed was financed by France. Yeah. Oh my God. If he was our ally or weapon tester, why do we kill him? Because we're retarded. Because, okay, where's that meme? Where's that meme? Where's the meme? I know we've all seen it. Where is it? With the pole ball. You know? When you finance... When you... Where is it, goddammit? No, I can't find it. I swear to God, I've seen this so many times. I feel like it should actually be really, really, really easy. If I just say CIA memes sunglasses, will that do it? No. Fuck it. Whatever. Never mind. Never mind. Bosh. Oh, you got it, Scrawny Dreeb? Thank you. Thank you. This is why. This was American Middle Eastern foreign policy from the 70s onward, basically. We supported Saddam Hussein because the Ayatollah had kicked out the Shah in Iran, and the Ayatollah was like a far-right Islamic revolutionary type, and we didn't want him to win, so we wanted Iraq to destroy Iran, but then they didn't, and Iran then tried to attack Iraq, but then they didn't, and it was a big stalemate, and then Saddam Hussein is a lunatic and killed a bunch of people, and a bunch of genocides in Kuwait, and da-di-da-di-da. Stay tuned, because we're going to do it again. Get ready, guys, for round 73. Yeah, yes! Yeah, the Taliban has apparently been going aggro on Iran. Apparently, the Taliban's been getting a little bit antsy in their desk jobs, and it looks like we're you know, aggression is re-engaging. Let's go! Now, the nice thing is that the Iranian government and the Taliban are both evil, so if we just sit back, please God, U.S. State Department, do not fund the Taliban again. Do not do it again. Do not do it again. I know you want to. They want to so badly. I know right now there's a bunch of people in the Pentagon who are leaning over, like hunched over a gigantic war table, going, "Okay, you're gonna hate me for this suggestion, all right? But say we gave the Taliban a bunch more military equipment and they took out Iran." We're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it again. Just one more time. Just one more time. Come on. One more time. Hear me out. Oh, God. We're not done. I got one more in me. One more. They won't expect a 12th time. Does the Taliban have a chance against Iran? No, Iran is uninvadable and actually has a decently developed military. The Taliban does not. The Taliban can annoy the fuck out of them by getting into their hills and just chilling there in their ongoing holy war. But yeah, they're not. Yeah, Iran's like a real country. Yeah, geographically, Iran is a castle. What if Iran invades Afghanistan? Whatever, man. So it's over water rights? Why is Iran so defendable? Because all of Iran is a mountain range with hills and caves. Listen, half of Afghanistan and all of Iran are built by Earth to be a maze. These are insanely difficult positions to take. I was reading up, by which I mean listening to podcasts, on the the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, and basically what would happen is the Soviets would come in with infinitely superior numbers, training, military, blah blah, and like they were trained in conventional warfare, which is the Soviets would be like, we're going to take that hill over there, here, hup, hup, hup. And they would like fight a bunch of like dust clouds a mile away with bolt action rifles for 2 hours, take a bunch of losses, eventually get to the top of the hill, and they'd be like, "Oh, we took the hill, yeah!" And then they would leave because there's nothing to do up there. They took territory, but they can't build a base up on top of a mountain, and there's no water up there, so they go back to base, and then the Taliban just go back to the hill. They just wait. Conventional military tactics didn't do anything against them. In fact, by the way, we also couldn't. What happened in our invasion of Afghanistan? We took their major cities, propped up the ANA, but we didn't fight the Taliban, because what were we going to do? March a bunch of dudes up onto a hill? They're ready for that. They're ready for that strat. Then we leave Afghanistan and the Taliban just roll in and take the ANA back, you know? Yeah, there's a reason it's called the Graveyard of Empires. Yeah. Apparently the water dispute is based on a 1973 treaty. Interesting. Afghan-Iranian Treaty of 1973. Does this even work? A treaty signed in 1973, that's like 7 governments ago for Afghanistan. Like what? Like who's honoring that? You know? Obligatory because of Kosovo, another meme. I love my my anti-Serbian President Joe Biden.
About the United States. There is no moral center in Europe. When in the last 2 centuries had the French or the British or the Germans or the Belgians or the Italians moved in a way to unify that continent, to stand up to this kind of genocide?
By the way, I actually agree with him here. This is one of the reasons why I don't like that NATO is so US-centric, and I'm glad that the EU is becoming like more autonomous. It like for a long time, Western Europe has basically just been like under our foot. And like they could have been doing a much better job uniting the continent in terms of like economic and political interests.
When have they done? The only reason anything is happening now is because the United States of America finally is understanding her role.
God damn. It is just like the fact that the Taliban is having to do diplomacy now is so funny to me. Hey, Iran is Shia and the Taliban are Sunni, right? Well, that probably makes them want to fight as well. Latest videos from Halvash purported to show Iranian forces firing a mortar as well as Taliban troops firing American-made machine guns because they took all that shit from the ANA at an Iranian border post. Other Taliban fighters drove armored vehicles likely left behind by NATO forces. Guys, it's brilliant! Right now there's some 250 IQ dude at the State Department who's like, we don't have to arm the Taliban. All that shit we gave the ANA, they left it behind. Literally, like, ha! Now we don't need to. We're politically in the clear. Oh, sorry we gave all these weapons to the NA and they just got rolled over by the Taliban. We didn't mean to do that. Haha. Hope you don't fight Iran. Haha. It's a proxy war between America and America. True. I mean, earlier on, one of the reasons Iran had the armaments to fight Iraq is because there were remnant vehicles that we had given the Shah before the Ayatollah and the revolution. It's literally all of it is us. Like, all of it. Like, we're everything over the whole... we did all of this. We train the Taliban in F-16s. I think we should give... I'm ready for Taliban to be seen in... M2A2 Abrams. Okay, I'm ready. Then Iran-Contra. Yep, then the Iran-Contra scam. 97% of Iran faces some level of drought. That's not good. We did all of this, and for what reason? Oil. Literally, oil is like the thing. We imposed the Shah on Iran because oil, we wanted like a puppet anti-communist puppet state that would work with our business interests. And then they had a revolution, so we supported Iraq in the hopes that Iraq would destroy Iran and stop an Islamic revolution from spreading and give us the oil from these countries. And then we invaded because of Iraq and not Kosovo and Kuwait, because Kuwait had a lot of oil, and like it's just like literally like all this, you know. And the great irony was, all we had to do was drill in Alaska, and we would have gotten all the oil. Here I thought oil thing was just USA stereotype. No, it's real. It's not as true now, though. People say the 2003 invasion of Iraq was about oil, and that was like, I'm sure that was a part of it, but there are other more complicated geopolitical concerns. Historically, though, like our involvement in the Middle East has been... I mean, there's a lot of economic stuff there. Found some literature on American foreign policy in the Middle East. Hey, listen, this time it's going in our favor, okay? Iran and the Taliban fighting it's just good for us. It's entirely good for us. Infrared fans in shambles. Ah, yes. Aren't they literally Sunni and Shia? They're not brother. They would they would holy war each other in a second. What? Senior Taliban commander Abdul Hamid Khorasani, aka Nasir Badri, has in video message warned the group will fight against Iranians with more passion than they did against US forces. Okay. We will conquer Iran soon if Taliban's leaders give us the green light for jihad. Oh, God. All right, guys. Is it terrible for me to say that after the Russia-Ukraine thing, I would take some relief in a war where both sides are completely evil? Whoever wins. I don't care if Taliban jihadists get shot. I don't care. They're insane. They're insane. They've killed a ton of ethnic minorities in Afghanistan. They slaughter their own people. They behead people. They suppress all the women. I don't. They're evil. And the Iranian government's really bad too. The Iranian government's a lot better than the Taliban. No, I take it back. Critical support for the Iranian government against the Taliban. Iran taking over. Look, I'll put it this way. Iran taking over Afghanistan would be better and funnier than the Taliban trying to take over Iran. Even if neither is going to happen. Yeah, the Taliban literally sell children to be sex slaves for their soldiers. That's not a joke. The Taliban are evil. They're all evil. It's like they're like marginally better than ISIS. Iran has an actual functioning like government, you know. It's a repressive government ruled by religious extremists, but it is, you know, a government that provides for its people to some extent. U.S. protected the trade of male child sex slaves in Afghanistan? Yep. Yes, we did. U.S. soldiers were told if they saw or noticed evidence of children being sold as sex slaves to ANA leaders, the Afghanistan National Army, to look the other way. Pedos run the world, buddy. Well, Afghanistan isn't the world. Afghanistan is just mega. Is Afghanistan one of the most places on Earth? It's gotta be, right? Like, Afghanistan is so, like, it's like, I'm trying to think, like, yeah, Somalia, Yemen. I don't even know about Yemen, man. No, I genuinely, like, I would actually place North Korea several tiers above Afghanistan. I genuinely think that. Yeah, like I really do think that like North Korea is up like higher up. Yeah, maybe like South Sudan. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, man, it's really bad in like the grand scale of like worst places to live list. Afghanistan's right down there, man. Iran is nowhere near. Iran, compared to its contemporaries, Iran is a quite advanced, well-developed country. Florida, that's right. Florida is at the absolute bottom. I don't know why I thought I would need to listen to this again with the audio. I do not speak Arabic? Most corrupt country scores. Yeah, but the problem with Afghanistan isn't so much that it's corrupt and more that it's like giga. Keep in mind that the actual official government of Afghanistan right now is the Taliban. Like it's not like corruption is an elite. It's like, oh, dude, you hear that this Taliban official was corrupt with this guy? Who cares? It's the Taliban. It's difficult to. Yeah, it's so bad. Corruption is one of those like nice things you get to worry about after you have basics like a civil society. And it's not corruption if they can just do whatever they want. Like you wouldn't really accuse a feudal warlord of corruption because he like, you know, strikes deals with other warlords. Like they just do that. It's not corruption. Those are the rules.